All right, so that was hypothesis testing. Now we're going to move on to confidence intervals for two population means that are independent. Again, the 4 criteria are identical as the hypothesis testing. The calculator command that you're going to use to find confidence interval for two population means that are independent is going to be number 19. And if you look at your overview sheet, you can see that 18 matches up with what we did for the hypothesis testing. Number 19 matches up for the confidence interval that we are about to do right now. Recently, a device called low-level laser therapy was evolved as a potential solution to hair loss. A randomized placebo-controlled experiment was conducted in which 65 females were randomly assigned to one of 2 treatment groups. The 43 subjects in group 1 were exposed to a 9-beam laser comb treatment, while the 22 subjects in group 2 received a placebo treatment for a total of 16 weeks. The response variable in the study was hair density, measured in hair count per square centimeter. For the subjects in group 1, the mean change in hair density was 20.2 with a standard deviation of 11.2. For the subjects in group 2, the mean change in hair density was 2.8 with a standard deviation of 16.5. Estimate the mean difference in their hair density between group 1 and group 2 by constructing a 95% confidence interval. Note, analysis of the sample data suggests the sample data come from populations that are normally distributed. And this is the source. Okay, pooling means we assume equal population variances, just so you're aware of what that means. So let's verify the conditions. First condition. Let's first go through our steps. Quantitative or qualitative? This is quantitative, right? We're talking about means and standard deviation. We're talking about the number of hair that we have. That's quantitative. How many populations do we have? We have a group 1 and a group 2, right? So that indicates you have 2 populations. We have 2 samples, 2 populations. Next, independent or dependent. So is the person in group 1 hair going to depend on the person's hair in group 2? No, so that means it's independent. Oops, sorry, this should be quantitative. I said one thing and wrote the other. Let's go to our overview sheet. Quantitative, go to 2 populations, and then go to independent. And we're going to be working with confidence interval, so that should indicate number 19 that you need to use. Okay, before we get into that, let's go over the criteria, the conditions. First, simple random or matched pair. This sample is a random sample. That was right here. 2, it is independent. 3, is it normally distributed? Yep, and I highlighted it for us. And then 4 is each sample, so each group. So 43 and 22, is that less than the population, 5% of the population? Yes, we're talking about females, so yes. Each sample is no more than 5% of the population size. So we want to estimate the mean difference in the hair density between group 1 and 2 by constructing a 95% confidence interval. So that indicates that we need to do confidence interval number 19. Let's go with stats, tests, number 0. Again, we're using data. Okay, so group 1 is going to be in list 1, right? And that's what we put Oh, but we're not doing data. This is stats. So let's go to stats. Sorry about that. We have group 1 data needs to go with x bar 1 and s of x and n sub 1. So what's our mean for group 1? Our mean was 20.2. Standard deviation was 11.2. And we had 43. And then in group 2, we had a mean of 2.8, standard deviation of 16.5, and we had 22. We're doing a 95% level of confidence, pooled, no, and then hit calculate. So our lower is 9.43 and our upper bound is 25.37. Lower bound 9.43, upper bound 25.37. Okay, if we want to write this out, we could say the researchers are 95% confident. The mean difference in hair density is between 9.43 and 25.37, higher in the 9-beam laser comb group than the placebo group. Okay, my question for you, does a confidence interval contain 0? Is 0 between 9 and 25? It is not. So let's write a little something about that. The confidence interval does not include 0. This suggests, so if it included 0, that means that there is no difference between the two. If it does not include 0, it means that there is a difference between these two treatments. So it suggests that the 9-beam laser comb treatment is effective. Right, because we're talking about the differences. When you take a difference and it's not 0, because if there is not a difference, it'd be 0. But if there is a difference, 0 would not be contained in here. So this laser comb treatment then is effective. All right, that is the end of 11.3. Please let me know if you have any questions.